Right.
So it's a good time to talk about the fact that we don't like to use pesticides for several reasons. One is because there are always alternatives, and we'll try the alternatives first. And Steve's biggest alternative is the birds.
Yep.
He claims every time he trots off to buy another $80 bag of sunflower hulls that this is saving us from pest control in the yard. And his new feeder is a bird buddy, bird buddy, which has a camera, and it alerts his phone every time it takes a picture of a bird.
Right now.
And if he wants to share the picture, it'll even write a little message that says, "I am an American goldfinch, and I am at the best feeder in the neighborhood." I love watching them. They're starting to turn, the colors are coming in already on the American goldfinches. The pine siskins, they live far north in Canada and only come down in the winter when they don't have enough food up where they are. And this one obviously liked the camera.
Yeah.
And this red-winged blackbird was a hoot to watch. It takes a video as well as taking the picture. This red-winged blackbird is hiding his red.
They're hiding their colors. They're not the dominant male in the area.
Right. So he was actually grabbing a mouthful of food and then looking over his shoulder, grabbing a mouthful of food and looking over his shoulder because somebody was going to come beat him up if he stayed there for too long. So Steve likes to do that, and I don't know whether feeding them as much seed as he does keeps them in, but they need the insects. They need the insects for the protein to feed their young. So these iris leaves are still there. There are almost certainly borer eggs on them, and very shortly will be borer larvae crawling along the bed. Birds will be poking around. I like watching the robins when they go through your mulch, and it looks like they're just throwing mulch. They grab them, just throw it up. Little explosions out there with the robins. They're picking up and pulling out grubs and things from among the old leaves and the stems. They can reach down into the stems and pick out things. Chickadees are wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And nuthatches creeping down the trees and picking things out of the bark. They can be destructive, though. Diana sent us this. This is a downy woodpecker beating up their pergola. What do? I don't know. People say cover it with tinfoil so it makes a different noise. I've seen. Didn't they? Woodpeckers up north, weren't they pecking on the metal stovepipe?
Stovepipe.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. Every morning.
They like making the noise. But they're out there finding things that you wouldn't know to look for. Like those are the eggs of the sawfly, the pine sawfly that's going to be trying to pretend it's a needle and eating the needles. And that every one of those eggs is going to be hatching out, and it's something that a bird can come and grab up, beak full of them and take away to the young.
Yeah.
These are not eggs or insect problems. This is edema. Well, just like we can get edema. If plants, this was a year when it got very warm in March, which we would like it to get now, but it got very warm in March. The plants lost their hardiness, reabsorbed water from the cells around them, and then it got very cold and the cells exploded. So you're looking at
that's what all the
damage is. But there's also right there, right where Steve's pointing, there's a notch in those leaves. That's a weevil notch.
It's only one.
It's a lot smaller on well, that one's notched, but look who's cut off.
Yes, I know, but one is too horrible.
And this can happen to a lot of different plants. The dwarf Alberta spruces are famous for this. People say, "Oh, something suddenly happened." Well, you can shade them so that they don't warm up too quickly, but be assured that the bud at the tip of the branch is still alive. They'll lose that brown stuff and they'll grow back out over it.
And you hardly notice it.
Yeah, that year, 9 years ago, it even killed the ivy.
It got cold.
Yeah, and whole beds of English ivy did.
Got a couple possibly quick ones coming in. Back to the yucca conversation. Margaret saying, I would wear safety glasses when messing with yuccas. It really hurts when it pokes you in the eye.
It does.
Yeah. Also, you should always have gloves, but particularly gloves.
I switched to contact lenses for a brief time in my life, and I went back to glasses because I have my head in bushes and plants so often that my glasses have become a
protection.
So watch out for those.
Yep. I find I get angry when something manages to sneak in the side of my glasses. I'm like, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Rodent-wise, Jean has one about eliminating beavers. They're cutting down my cedar trees on a peninsula on the lake. Yeah,
You have to
new issue there.
contact a trapper. That's the only way that they're going to have to be trapped.
Yeah, you're not going to discourage them from cutting down what they need to. They need to.
And if they're on public property, I don't know. You know what? Yeah. You know, if they're on your private property, I know they're trapping beavers that are causing a lot of flooding because of the dams they're making on streams around. But they're really they can make huge dams.
Yeah, they come back. They come back.
And in general, it is the fact that we're dealing with beavers. It is a success story overall. It's actually really good news that they've come back the way they have.
Yes,
but that doesn't stop it being annoying.
There's a place for everything, and
well, especially when they cut down big trees on Belle Isle, they got a couple of good sized trees in the botanical gardens.
Oh, I don't know. It's kind of like deer. They get angry and they're going to chop down something big. You know?
I think they got to get the kids out of the house. I think they tell the kids, "You kids go chew something down. Get out of here." Michelle is asking whether you have a good variety for chokeberry. Is black better than red?
So the Aronia, I like the red.
I like the look of the red much better, but the black might be a little bit more wildlife friendly.
It's all the black, the Aronia melanocarpa is native here. Aronia arbutefolia, the variety that sells as brilliantissima with the red berries, is not native to this part of to Southeast Michigan. So if you want to go with the native, then you go with the black one. I do like the red berries.
The brilliantissima red berries is absolutely stunning.
I don't know if of other varieties.
They are, but I can't remember. Brilliantissima is so good.
Yeah.